My name is Anthony Rosus and I'm 49 years old. For the past decade, I've lived like I didn't exist in my own daughter's world. A ghost no one ever acknowledged. She erased me so thoroughly that even my name seemed to vanish from her memory. But all that shifted recently when she reappeared, needing something now that her carefully built life had collapsed. Let me take you back. I was 36 when my ex-wife Vanessa suddenly hit me with divorce papers. Our daughter Kayla was just 9. Vanessa didn't just leave me. She went for full custody and accused me of being emotionally unstable, insisting on supervised visitation. It didn't matter that I had no record, no history of outbursts, and that I'd spent years coaching Kayla's soccer team. In court, Vanessa's word was taken as truth, and the system didn't give me a chance to prove otherwise. I tried everything to stay in Kayla's life. I spent over $11,000 on legal fees. I signed up for anger management classes I didn't need just to show I was willing to improve. But none of it changed the outcome. Every time we went to court, Vanessa showed up with new fabricated story claims about breakdowns in public outbursts that never happened. The judge never questioned her. Kayla started drifting away. Some days she'd hug me and ask when she could spend more time at my place. Other days she seemed scared to even touch my hand. It was clear Vanessa was poisoning her against me. When Kayla was 11, Vanessa remarried. Her new husband, Craig Dalton, had all the charm and money I didn't. He was a well-dressed CEO with a big house, fancy vacations, and every material thing a kid could want. He stepped into the dad role like it was scripted, and Kayla took to it fast. Over time, she became harder to reach. Phone calls stopped. Visits dried up. I once bought her a custom charm bracelet with both our initials A and K, and went deliver on Christmas Eve. Vanessa opened the door, phone in hand, already recording. She accused me of violating the court order and called a harassment. 2 days later, I was served a restraining order. That was the last time I tried to see my daughter in person. Eventually, Vanessa even changed Kayla's last name to match Craig's. I didn't know until a friend sent me a social media post showing Kayla at a charity event wearing a Dalton Roofing shirt, calling Craig her proud father. That night, I sat in silence and cried at my kitchen table. My daughter was gone, not physically, but in every way that mattered. Years passed. I stayed in a small town 3 hours away. Working quietly as an electrician, fixing old machines, staying under the radar. No wife, no child, just a quiet life with grease-stained fingers and a stubborn heart. Then 2 weeks ago, I got a text. "Can we talk?" No name. I ignored it. Next day, another message. "It's Kayla." My chest tightened. After all these years of nothing, here she was. I didn't respond. My coworker Harold noticed me staring at my phone and asked what was up. I told him. He didn't even blink before saying, "She wants something." Bet on it. He was right. The third message confirmed it. Vanessa had died from pancreatic cancer. Craig had taken his own life a week later. Now Kayla, grown alone and without the life she used to know, was reaching out. Not because she missed me. Not because she had a change of heart, but because she needed help. Help with the funeral, the estate, and the legal chaos left behind. After years of calling me a stranger, of letting another man walk her down the aisle, of stripping me of fatherhood. Now she came looking for support, and I didn't know how to feel. Then one day, my brother Leo showed up at my doorstep, muffins in hand, looking like he was staging some kind of emotional intervention. "She's your daughter," he said firmly. "She's lost everything. You can't just pretend she doesn't exist." I fired back. "She's been pretending I don't exist for 8 years. But Leo didn't back down. He told me the real story. Kayla had kept Vanessa's cancer diagnosis secret from the entire family. None of them, her aunts, cousins, even her own mother, got a chance to say goodbye. And while Vanessa was dying, Kayla secretly sold the grandmother's house, a cherished family property. She didn't tell anyone and kept the money for herself. That's when Vanessa's entire side of the family cut her off. But it didn't end there. Craig's adult children, people Kayla had excluded from their father's life, were now suing her. They believed she manipulated Craig into rewriting his will and changing the insurance beneficiaries after Vanessa passed. According to them, Craig was emotionally vulnerable, drowning in grief. And Kayla stepped in and seized control. They claimed he had even started the process of removing her from his will, but died before it was finalized. Now she was facing a brutal lawsuit with no allies left except me, the man she had erased like a bad memory. Leo pleaded with me to call her. She was just a kid back then, he said. But let's be honest, she wasn't a kid when she sold property behind a dying woman's back. She wasn't a kid when she isolated Craig's family during his final months. She was 20, old enough to know exactly what she was doing. The next day, I got one last voicemail from her. "Fine," she said bitterly. "Be the guy who never shows up like always. I'll tell everyone you abandoned me when I needed you most." That voicemail was an olive branch. It was a warning, just like her mother used to do. Turn the narrative upside down. Paint me as the villain. That was it for me. I blocked her number. If she wanted help, she could hire a lawyer like her mother used to. But it didn't stop there. 1 week later, I received a subpoena in the mail. Craig's children were making good on her promise to sue, and now I was being pulled into the court battle as a witness. Everyone wanted to hear from the one person Kayla had ghosted for years, the father she'd once tried to erase. When I walked into the courtroom, I didn't go in as a grieving dad or a loyal supporter. I walked in as someone who was done being used. Craig's son, Jason, was the one who summoned me. His lawyer asked the big question right away. "Are you Kayla Dalton's biological father?" "Yes," I said, steady and calm. "Not that you'd know it from how she's treated me the last 10 years. The room fell quiet. I laid it all out. The restraining order, the ignored visits, how she'd taken Craig's last name, how I'd learned about her wedding from a stranger's Facebook post. Then I dropped the real bomb. She hadn't even invited me to her wedding. Her stepfather walked her down the aisle. She called me a danger, and now she wanted to testify on her behalf to defend her integrity in a courtroom battle over life insurance and estate rights. The judge raised an eyebrow. Jason's attorney pressed further. "Do you believe Kayla manipulated Mr. Dalton in his final months?" Without hesitation, I answered, "I think Kayla learned a lot from her mother. How to use people and how to discard them when they're no longer useful." Kayla didn't say a word. Dressed in a navy blue suit, sitting beside her lawyer, she looked diminished, not physically, but emotionally hollow. The weight of her own actions seemed to have finally caught up with her. She didn't deny anything. She didn't cry. She didn't even try to explain. After court recessed, I stepped outside to get some air. Jason followed me. "My dad used to talk about you. He said he always felt bad for stepping in. He wanted to reach out, but Vanessa wouldn't let him." I didn't know what to say. Jason went on, "You're the only person who's told the truth in this whole mess. If you ever need work, I run a contracting firm. We need electricians." That hit me harder than any of Kayla's angry words ever had. Respect from the son of a man Kayla allegedly manipulated. That meant something. But the next blow came that night. Someone slid a folded letter under my door. No envelope, just my name scrolled across the front. It was from Kayla, "Dad, if you can still call yourself that." It read, Thanks for proving what I always suspected. That when life gets tough, you disappear. I came to you at my lowest, and instead of helping, you humiliated me in court. You burned every bridge we had left. You want the truth? Craig hated you. He told me men like you never change. Guess he was right. Goodbye. I read it again and again. Then I lit it on fire and watched it turn to ash in the kitchen sink. No more guilt. No more second-guessing whether I should have done more. But this story still had one more twist. 3 weeks later, I got a call from a woman named Denise. She was a private investigator working for one of Craig's former business partners. They suspected Kayla had forged legal documents before Craig's death. Denise asked if I had anything from Kayla, emails, letters. I told her about the note, but it was gone. Didn't matter. They already had a copy of the final will, and the signature didn't match Craig's known handwriting. A forensic document analyst had flagged it. This wasn't just a lawsuit anymore. It was becoming a potential criminal case. Fraud, forgery, financial manipulation. If proven, Kayla could go to prison. When I told Leo, he went quiet. Then he said almost to himself, "I didn't know it was that serious." She's not a kid anymore. I told him she's an adult learning what consequences look like. Soon after, Kayla's lawyer reached out again. She wanted to settle quietly, maybe repair her image. They asked if I'd write a letter supporting her character. I laughed out loud. Tell her to ask the man who walked her down the aisle. I said before hanging up. Let her fix her life the hard way like I had to. Let her build her own reputation from scratch without dragging mine down. Because now finally, I wasn't the one being replaced. I wasn't a villain in anyone else's story. I was just free. And that felt better than any apology ever.